Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Kev Kellum here, Sportskeeda Wrestling. I'm with the legendary, beloved, most beloved pro wrestling journalist of all time, Bill Apter. And hell of a scoop, hell of a story that broke earlier today, and we're going to talk about it in this bonus video on Sportskeeda Wrestling.
Unquestionably, we're not talking about what you think we're talking about. You're fired. Get out of the stream.
Get out of the stream. Yeah. So earlier today, it went viral, and a lot of people lost their minds with this story. And that is that Shane McMahon, yes, the billionaire prince himself of pro wrestling, of the family, the royal family of WWE, Shane McMahon, it was revealed, had a meeting on Monday, reportedly from Fightful Select and other outlets, including Wrestle Talk.
Okay. All right.
That
all right.
He had a meeting with Tony Khan of AEW.
All right. Allegedly. Okay. Here's what
Allegedly.
I'm
You're on the alleged part, right, Bill? Bill?
Here's the alleged part. Okay. This is conspiracy theory week. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The deal here, in my opinion, is that we're in an era where people are using the word reportedly, yet every contact that I have in WWE, contacts I have in AEW, none of them can put their finger on and confirm this. Now, yes, we saw that photo of Shane McMahon standing there and Tony just kind of looking like this. Well, two things got me on this. Number one, wouldn't you think if they were together and they were allowing someone to take a photo, they would have stood there pally together? Or if someone just snuck a candid and ran out, one of them would have gone, ho, ho, ho,
Mm-hmm.
oh, what are you doing? Okay. Now, in this age of Photoshop and everything, I can put me in a meeting with Shane McMahon and Tony Khan. No one, again, they're using the word reportedly, but until somebody shows me actual proof, not the photographer, maybe we can dig him up or her up, whatever. But so now I'm going to go to another. Oh, where did we go? There we go. Okay. So,
I'm trying to show you the photo as quickly as I can. I wanted to share it if I could. Give me 1 second. I'll get the overlay off
that's
here.
Fine. That's fine. Oh, Mercedes is saying.
Mercedes Monet is saying that she took the photo.
Mercedes Monet. Yeah. Well, we're right, she took it from her phone and placed it on the internet. Here's the deal: Shane McMahon had a chance meeting with her at an airport at a bagel joint. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, it's you! Oh my God! And they sat down and talked. And it was
bigger question. I want to know what bagel they got.
We were talking about that on Time Machine the other day because I was sitting at Spread Bagelry in Dresser, Pennsylvania, where I go either there or Manhattan Bagel or Philly Bagel. And Teddy Long's favorite bagel is a sourdough. What's yours?
I love a cinnamon raisin.
Okay, that's good. But let's get back to the point here. All right, let's talk about.
You're questioning my choice of bagel.
This is my reporting brain is going on here. So now let's say that Tony Khan and Shane McMahon bumped into each other at an airport. They might have sat and talked for 5 or 10 minutes. Friendly, oh, hey, doing, blah, blah, blah. Hey, if you ever want to come by. Okay, but again, that picture is very deceiving to me. It might not be a real photograph. Now, if this is, again, I'm going to go with my conspiracy theory. Mm-hmm. In the days of him, there is no way in hell that WWE would do anything with AEW. Period. The end. It was like the war days with WWE and WCW when they don't exist. Mm-hmm. So now there's a new company involved, TKO, and you got a Khan and you got a Khan, not CON, KHAN,
not related.
Both companies, right? Not related that we know of. And the TKO people are looking at this and saying, you know what? Maybe we can do something with this and start a little schmoz here where maybe this could be the biggest thing in the history of pro wrestling in the past 10 years or whatever, that Shane McMahon shows up on your show. Kevin, I know you're there, but your Kevin is covering your whole face there. You got to move up a little bit.
Sorry.
He's much taller in person, by the way. When I met him,
there we go. Sorry, there we go. Better.
He's a giant. He's Kevin the Giant. But
I
anyway,
had to move the chair up.
So now, Vince McMahon would never entertain this. But now, can you see Shane McMahon, who showed up on WCW's broadcast in the ring, and people were like, holy beep, holy beep. Can you imagine if he did that at AEW and got that same reaction? Now I don't know if he's still a stockholder, a shareholder in WWE. That's not clear. I can't seem to get an answer. And if he is, this could erase that he's going to do anything with them. Maybe. There could be some legal thing going on there. But if AEW brought him in, there would be an immediate uppage in everything that's going on with them. Because right now, I was talking to several people about this today, is they don't have that one guy grabber right now. If you talk about WWE, you got 5 guys that are household wrestling names. And you're looking at AEW, and I want them to succeed. Well, let me see. I've asked fans, who's in AEW? And they're like, I was just watching the beginning of it before we went live, and MJF is going to be going against Will Ospreay at Wembley Stadium, but now he's feuding with Kyle Fletcher. And don't they have, and there's nothing wrong with Kyle Fletcher. He's a great performer, great talent, but wouldn't you think...
But is he a star right now?
Right. You need somebody like that. I don't know what they did with Wardlow, but I was talking with Dave LaGreca from Busted Open today. I said, he could have been the next Batista. Can you see if they had a manager back in the 70s like Captain Lou Albano with this guy who's great? He's got a great build. He work, but he can't talk. So can you see somebody like Lou Albano? He's got it all. He's got ability. He's got it. You know what I'm saying? But Kyle Fletcher, and no offense to Will Ospreay, in England, that's going to be spectacular.
Great and big draw and the right way to use him, but he's just not, I want to say, there yet. That feels belittling. He's
not box office here. He's a demigod in the from the independent world here.
Oh, internationally, he's an attraction, just not in the States.
Yeah, that's what I said in Japan, and I was going on with the other countries. But and again, I want them to succeed. But getting back to the whole Shane McMahon thing, again, the word everywhere is, including the people that put it out on Wrestle Talk and Sean Ross Sapp, is the word reportedly. Give me a report that somebody knows about this. Let AEW put out a press release that it's true. Mr. Khan met with Mr. McMahon. It was a friendly meeting in, there's the days of the internet. So, but now the buzz is going because, again, it's internet, but that word reportedly is what's sticking in me. That.
So, Bill, you don't believe it really happened, or you don't believe that?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm doubting it.
I'm going to say they legitimately had a conversation. They met and they talked.
No, it could have happened. Yeah. It could have happened, but I want proof that it happened.
You want proof?
You don't know. Where are you getting your information from?
I'm getting it from Fightful Select and Wrestle Talk, who are they're pretty verified sources. They broke the big stories. Yeah. Well, then they have to give away their sources. Then, Bill, you wouldn't do that. There's been a lot of times you knew about something you didn't give.
I would say that I talked to Tony Khan or Shane McMahon, and they confirmed it. That's what I would do. Okay, Shane McMahon's not talking to me. And I already called their public relations man, Adam Hopkins, today, who used to be with WWE, and
Great
he
guy.
hasn't got.
I've worked with Adam a handful of times on different like press
Great
events.
guy.
Yeah,
Great guy. But nobody has confirmed this thing. So if it happens, I think it would be great. I think it would be spectacular.
I mean, they're putting out a press release saying it happened.
Who is putting out a press release?
You just said that AEW put out a press release saying that it
No,
happened.
I asked them to.
Oh, you asked them to, and they didn't. Okay, I understand.
There's no press release.
I was like, that went over my head if they put out a press release,
No, not at all. I asked Adam Hopkins if they're going to put out a press release just saying that this happened. And if it was a 2 or 3 minute thing at an airport, in the captain's lounge there or something, okay, but then more people would have seen it. It wouldn't have just been that one photograph. There would have been people at the airport that said, "Oh my God, there's wrestling fans everywhere." So I'm not 100% sure this didn't happen.
Yeah,
but I'm not 100% sure this did happen.
Well, I'm leaning on the side that it did, but I understand that doesn't mean anything's going to immediately come from it. This is a prominent businessman in Shane McMahon. This is a guy who worked with WWE. He was born into the business. He was literally born into WWE.
Wait a minute. Doesn't Shane's son does he play football?
That was also brought up today. Is a lot of people talking about his son playing collegiate football, and maybe this is just an in to try and find a way into a collegiate football route for his son because Tony Khan.
Oh, wait! Hey, listen, we could put him right in the Jaguars if you make an appearance on our TV show. Sold.
So there's that. If he's having this meeting, he clearly doesn't have any more professional association with WWE, which has been out there for a while. And the last time we saw him in WWE, he unfortunately suffered an injury in a surprise unannounced match at WrestleMania 39. Let's go through the hypotheticals while I have you here, Bill, before we wrap this up. You're on the fence about this happening. I'm saying it's possible if he's not under contract and he's having these meetings, especially with the arch nemesis of WWE, that's going to challenge them and has the war chest to try and do it. And they're trying. I'm not saying they are, but they're trying. And then the timing of this is interesting. AEW still reportedly in that red zone to sign a new TV deal, but their parent company that they want to do that with, or their media partner in Warner Brothers Discovery itself, is going through some upheaval and changes, right? So that's holding the whole thing up.
Kevin, let me
you bring in an influential guy like Shane McMahon.
If their deal with Warner Brothers goes through, even at a lesser price, they're getting paid by Warner Brothers Discovery, so they're not in any trouble of financial.
Oh, no, but I'm just saying a way to maybe make that deal move along a little bit faster. Say that you're meeting someone who is in the boardroom of WWE, is saying that you have somebody like a Shane McMahon in there. That's what I'm saying. It's like, hey, if Shane is working for them, I don't think they would bring him in exclusively as a talent. I think they would want to bring him in and say, hey, you worked under Vince McMahon, our main competitor, and hey, you did all these things. And we would love to, I'm trying to make sure my camera gets a full shot of me. We would love to have you at the table in terms of guiding our business because they're in a little bit of a valley, but some people see them coming out. They're going to do this big show in London. They're not going to draw the house they drew last year when they had the novelty of being the big non-WWE show in a stadium in the UK. They're going to do well, and they're going to have the biggest non-WWE wrestling event this year in the world. Yeah. That's very admirable. If Shane McMahon is there and they get this new TV contract, what role would you have him do in AEW? Would you want him to be an in-ring performer? Would you want him in an executive role?
No, I would like him, if he was doing this, like him to come out and open the show. Welcome to AEW. Already now he's made that impact, even though that's the name of another show. Already, he's made himself known there, and he can be the commissioner. He can be the commish for the night, one of those type of things. He can work with Christopher Daniels and Tony Khan, this type of thing. Or now, remember why he was allegedly removed from the company, because he was trying to run things backstage. If you remember that from WWE,
there was an issue with the Royal Rumble 2021, I believe. Yeah,
with him and Brock Lesnar and some of the other people. So that may rub people the wrong way, but the AEW roster, the guys that are familiar with him, that have worked with him, of course, are Chris Jericho, Brian Danielson.
Yeah.
Who else?
Handful of other people. Edge is there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, right, and he might be a welcome face to either. No matter what this is, even though that it may not be something that we have
Mhm.
confirmed reports about that we don't have. Look at the buzz that this is creating. So if it does happen, it's going to explode.
Do you think the timing of
Mad
this,
Mac Davis,
if this is a
Mad Mac Davis
calculated,
is just chimed in. He's
you
just
said a
chimed in
one-off wouldn't
here,
work.
and yeah, and I don't think it would be a one-off, Mac. I really don't.
Mm.
I think that, and I appreciate you chiming in here, um, but I think that it would be more than a one-off. I think it would be something that Shane would be backstage as well, helping to run things, which is
Mm.
something that would be very healthy.
Absolutely, and obviously, if they bring him in, he'd at least have, if he's going to be on screen, he's going to have a match. If he's going to be on camera, he's going to have a match. He's going to do something in the ring, and he's going to get
I think
physical.
because of his injury, Kevin, I think because of that injury, I don't know if he's going to be comfortable doing that.
True.
I know Shane, he's very driven. He always
Mhm.
wants to prove he can do something, but I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. That's just, I'm
So
not a doctor, though.
before we wrap up, though, you've known the McMahon family professionally for decades now, and you've known Shane since
Oh,
he was a kid.
I've known Vince. I've known Vince Senior since the mid '60s.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm that old.
What do you think the McMahon family is thinking now, seeing Shane, if he is indeed having these meetings? Because his brother-in-law, Stephanie's husband, is Paul Triple H Levesque, who's the creative chief officer of WWE now. Vince is out of the company amid this
Yeah,
whole legal issue with him that is obviously well
yeah,
published that we don't have to
yeah,
dig into and divert. What do you think their
yeah.
reaction is to this? Because apparently some people said, like, oh, he's a smart business guy. He's going to at least have a conversation with somebody. That's the word
You
from
do what you
WrestleVote
want.
that tends to know people. Yeah.
No, it's going to be do what you want because Shane and Triple H have never had a harmonious relationship. Shane and his dad's relationship was not the same, but professionally by the time he left there. Stephanie's a different story. Everybody
Mhm.
loves her. If she makes a one-off appearance, that'd be great. And fans want to see Shane O'Mac back. Ooh, there's a sign. Make Shane O'Mac come back. They want to see that, but he's his own guy. And
Mhm.
can I use a dirty word on here? He might
Sure.
just want to do this to piss off. He might just want to do this to piss off that whole WWE faction that he's no longer with.
Yeah, and maybe he feels there's a sense of all right, you guys don't keep me in the fold because some people say he was keeping probably even just to be a part of the company and not perform somewhere else and be a contract performer. You're getting that contract as well, and he wasn't getting that anymore. And this is a different WWE where there is no technically by blood McMahon at the executive level anymore. Just Triple H, who's certainly there, and you want people that are involved in the wrestling business at the company. The Rock is there now too, but it's a different company with a completely different culture, and they're still honoring the legacy. But maybe he's like,
Totally,
all right,
totally
I'll go do
different.
it somewhere else.
Yeah. Jordan Kirby says Shane is just going to ruin AEW. How can you say that, Jordan, when we don't even know, not just if, but if he goes in there, I think that he would be a benefit to them because of
Mhm.
all his years in WWE. Remember, he's got a whole history in WWE of knowing how that company ran from social media to the magazine
Mhm.
to working with the boys
Mhm.
to how the whole corporate structure ran back
Mhm.
then. So he's a very valuable commodity if AEW actually would make a deal and bring him in. I don't know what the price label on him would
It's
be,
not gonna be cheap.
but
Because I mean,
no,
he's still, even if he's not under contract with WWE, he's seen as a WWE guy. You know what I mean? Like he was born into the company that ran it for years, the family that ran it for years. So I mean, like it's just hard. I think it's gonna be hard for a lot of diehard WWE fans who take that kind of side in the argument to see him
I
do
don't
that.
know.
does do it.
Yeah, but you see, Triple H's wife then sees him on AEW and comes back on WWE and says, "My brother is where?" That's we can all dream of these dream scenarios, but I think Shane would be more valuable for the coming out once or twice during a show. I really do. And then I think that backstage and business-wise, in terms of the wrestling business, he would be the most valuable commodity they could get.
Comment here from Brandon Mendez saying he will make it great again. He, I guess you're assuming Shane here, has been around wrestling his whole life and will make it a top company again. And then other people.
You gotta have the talent too. You gotta have the name.
Well, I think they have the talent. They have spotty storytelling and different stuff like that. I think.
Yeah, but who is there? If you went in there again, we were talking about like Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay, Wardlow is gone, Edge is hurt, Christian is almost not doing anything with him, and he's their best heel. I mean, he's great. He's great. But what you need these billboard names to build the company. How do you take 20 wrestlers there and, just kind of start all over again? They lost Punk. They lost Cody. They lost these names that they had that made AEW what AEW was at their top of their business. They don't have that right now.
And I think they're in a tough spot where also WWE is still riding on a high of what they achieved at WrestleMania in the eyes of a majority of fans who left that show very happy. Whether or not you love that show, there was a lot of people that are really, really happy coming out of that show, and they got a satisfying ending at the biggest show of the year, and it's also with a guy who used to be in AEW, and you have storylines and things that still captivate fans. I didn't feel the drop off from this year's WrestleMania. Yeah, there's gonna be some, but you didn't feel like that natural,
a
little bit, but not nearly as big as it's been in the past. And I do think you see it in the live attendance. They're still selling out a lot of shows.
Kevin, there's something else that's missing here. Okay, if you look at WWE's marketing machine, they've got the Fanatic events coming up in New York with some Hogan and Cody and Rhea Ripley and all that. They market their people so well outside of the pro wrestling bubble. They really do. AEW needs their marketing machine to do
and you don't see it. You don't feel it.
No, because I think if they took somebody like Chris Jericho, Adam Copeland while he's out and can't work, Christian and some of the higher level people and brought them out to something like a Fanatics event or something like that, more places to see the talent so who's on television. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah, because you've seen these, they've had some houses go down. They play certain markets over and over again, like a Chicago where I am, or other markets they're trying to break in, and they're trying to move the needle in some markets, and you see in others they do really well, and it's very spotty. And I just don't see them doing the market to market type of, feet on the ground, buying geo-targeted ads. There's just things you don't see them do that WWE already has decades of a lead on, in terms of just brand awareness. You can much easier tell people what a WWE show is than an AEW show if they're not a diehard wrestling fan. And also they have their market share. AEW has what they have, and they play a very healthy role because it's well financed. Yeah. And I do think they can still be competitive with WWE, but they don't feel competitive.
Nobody, the one promoter that I always met over and over and over, different promoters, I'm going to put WWE out of business. That's the first mistake. Number two, the WWE's television and streaming market is monstrous compared to AEW.
I mean, you're talking billion-dollar deals, multi-billion-dollar deals. They were the first company ever in pro wrestling to sign a billion-dollar deal. And I just don't think that should be looked down on. And this isn't me taking a side over one or the other. And AEW serves a great purpose. They're a great outlet for a lot of great talent, but they need to refine how they tell stories. And all right, you have great wrestling. But the thing is, like, the standard, the standard of in-ring competition in pro wrestling at even the independent level is the highest it's ever been, to the point where fans have been numb to it. Like, we can get a lot of great in-ring action. I need characters. I need twists.
It's all good. It's all good to have this second company, because a lot of the guys who need work and TV exposure that are in the indies, they come into AEW.
It adds value to the whole genre.
Yeah. So, but you also look at this. AEW now, in my opinion, has a niche audience. Mm-hmm. Like ECW was, AEW is kind of like the modern day version of ECW, with so much of the fan that it tries to draw. Because a lot of AEW fans won't watch WWE, and a lot of ECW fans wouldn't watch WWE back then.
Oh, you remember you remember the magazine days. Those were some fun times with covering all those stories. I remember picking up a couple of those. All right, so you can follow Bill after.
Along with Dr. Chris. I'm going to be in Cleveland with Dr. Chris Featherstone Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if any of you fans see us on the street, in restaurants, at the matches, in the men's room, come say hello. Let us know that you watch us on.
I don't know about that last
one. Yeah. Well, you never know. It was very embarrassing one time, Kevin, that happened to me. Mm-hmm. There was a guy standing at a urinal.
Oh, boy.
And he recognized me, and he didn't zip up, and he went, "Aren't you?" And I got all soaking wet. It was terrible. But seriously, folks, please follow me on Twitter, X at Apter, APTER 1 Wrestling, the number 1. That's in homage to the old OneWrestling.com channel that I used to be with. Follow me and Mac Davis and Teddy Long on Time Machine on WrestleBinge, and me and Dr. Chris every Tuesday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Unscripted.
Yeah, and those are all available on the WrestleBinge by Sportskeeda YouTube channel. I know you're watching us here on Sportskeeda Wrestling. We normally don't do a lot of lives on here. Yeah, we don't do nearly as many lives on here, but this is a story that felt like it garnered the conversation around it to have this moment with you, Bill. Obviously, we'll be busy with everything SummerSlam this weekend. Go ahead, Bill.
Yes, well, you said it's going to be garnering. I'm a big Jennifer Garner fan, so thank you for saying that.
No problem. Jennifer garnered a lot of attention. Yeah.
No, we will be very busy in getting some. And by the way, right now on WrestleBinge, today we uploaded my interview from the 90s Wrestling Con with Eric Bischoff, and we talked about Cody Rhodes, WCW, Roman Reigns. So many people there. Braun Breaker. What's going to happen? Damian Priest, is he going to retain the title against Gunther?
Be interesting. We have some prediction videos dropping on this channel. I know certainly you guys will be talking about it. Whole bunch of Sportskeeda content, and obviously Bill going to be boots on the ground interviewing some of the talent there that's going to be wrestling for WWE.
Along with Dr. Chris, yes.
Along with Dr. Chris. So just keep an eye on the channel, WrestleBinge by Sportskeeda on YouTube. Also, if you just want to listen to the podcast audio, we're going to drop a lot in the next few days. It's going to kind of be out of sequence just because we have so much content coming at you and there's so much to cover.
So Kevin, one last thing before we go. Chris and I will also be at WrestleCon on Saturday. So doing interviews and saying hello to everybody. So
full day for you. Full day.
Full weekend. Wonderful Willie never sleeps, if you will.
But you should nap. Sleeping and napping, two different things. You're going to get a nap in, Bill, between shows?
Never. Never. I'm the Energizer Willie.
There you go. The Energizer Bunny of professional wrestling media right there. Bill after himself.
Time to nap.
He keeps going and going and going. You can follow once again on After One Wrestling on the apps. Go follow me at KevCallum6. Follow Sportskeeda. And remember, when watching wrestling, you know what? I don't get to do my sign off. I have